Lovely people, and welcome to Africa in Retrospect. I'm your lady, Grace. Join me today on a journey to Kenya, a country in East Africa with coastline on the Indian Ocean that encompasses savanna, lakelands, and dramatic Great Rift Valley and mountain highlands. This beautiful country is also home to wildlife like lion, elephants, and rhinos, with the Amboseli National Park offering views of Tanzania's Mount Kilimanjaro. So with me today to discuss about the beautiful country of Kenya is our very special brother Erastus Batura. But before then, let's take our theme song by Oshame Kwame. Welcome back, lovely people, to Africa in Retrospect. Today we are having our very special brother, Erastus Batura. Brother. Hello, brother. Okay, we will have our brother online very, very shortly. Today, as I said earlier, we are discussing about the beautiful country of Kenya, which is in eastern part of Africa, with coastline on the Indian Ocean, and it encompasses the savanna, the lakelands, the dramatic Great Rift Valley, and the mountain highlands. The country is so beautiful, and I'm sure that my brother will be in the right position to share everything with us today about his beautiful homeland.
I'm here,
Are you there,
my
brother
dear sister?
Erastus?
I'm still here. My dear sister. I'm still here.
Welcome to Africa in Retrospect. Please kindly introduce yourself to the good people watching you live on Facebook and YouTube.
Well, as my sister has said, my name. Well, as my sister has said, my name is Mashari Erastus. I come from Kenya, and that's my country. I am married with 3 children. I am married with 3 children. 2 boys and 1, 2 girls and 1 boy. 2 girls and 1 boy.
2 girls and 1 boy. That is nice. You have a very beautiful family. And thanks for joining us again, brother. Please
Thank you.
Tell us more about your homeland, Kenya, the population, language, food, religion, and the general culture of your country.
To begin with, our country is founded in the eastern part of Africa. And we are a country of at least 47 million people. That is as per the census, the last census conducted. But now,
and what about
I'm sure we've hit the million mark.
Yeah. I'm sure that Kenya is one of the fastest growing African countries in the on the globe,
Yes.
African countries, sorry. It's one of the fastest growing African nations. Yeah. So can you share a little about your language?
One thing, my sister, you should understand that Africa is not comprised of languages or tribes. We are nations.
Yeah,
So
I understand we are nations, but so in Ghana we speak three. I would say that one of our language, we have 47 languages in Ghana, but one is adopted as a national language, or not legally adopted as a national language, but is one of the widely spoken languages in Ghana. That is three. So that's why I want people to know the languages you people speak in Kenya.
Okay. Apart from now, we are 45 languages. 45 languages. Which are the first languages? Which are the first languages? But we have the national language. Which is Swahili. And it's spoken all across the country, up to Somalia. Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, and eastern part of Congo.
People, brother, they're saying there's too much echo. Can you check? Do you hear any echo?
I've reduced my volume. I've reduced my volume completely. You can hear me?
Do you hear your voice like feedback when you speak?
Yeah, I can hear myself. I can hear myself. That is.
Oh, okay.
And there's nobody here. I'm just alone. Nobody here. I'm just alone.
Okay, please hold on. Please, he has echo. Can you check it? Can you just put him alone? Can you put him alone? Hello, brother.
Yes. Hello?
Yeah, you said you are alone there. You are alone in your place.
Hello?
Yeah, there's no phone. There's no other phone around you.
Yes. No, it's just the laptop, but it's switched off. Now I'm not hearing the echoes now. I'm not hearing the echoes now. But if I speak, I can.
You're not hearing yourself again,
hear.
Right?
No. If I speak, there's a repetition. No. If I speak, there's a repetition.
Please, can you?
So I don't know whether that's okay with you.
Put him alone, please, so we can continue.
So I don't know whether that's.
Yeah, please hold on.
Okay with you.
You fix the problem again.
Okay. Okay. If you can stop for me, please. No, I'm doing an interview, a television interview. No, with Grace, Grace from the church. She has a platform that we usually do like television interview. That's why. Salah will kill you. Salah will kill you. Salah will kill you. They will tell. What's the charge there? What is the percentage?
I just want to put this one. Seven.
It's okay.
Hello? So what do you want me to do now? Because now it's like you start. What? Can you just delete this and let me start all over? Please. Delete and let me start. Because in the end, everyone has.
Hello.
Hello, brother.
Yes, I'm back.
Yeah, we will start. We will start the program again, eh?
Okay.
Okay. So let's continue.
Okay.
Tell us. I think you were talking about your homeland and
the population. I was in the part of the population.
Yeah. Okay. You can go ahead with the population.
So as I said earlier, we are a country of almost 50 million people. That means maybe 1 million people are born in every year. The main languages are Kiswahili, English, and now the local languages, which there are more than 50. There are more than 50 local languages. The food in Kenya varies from community to community because the different cultures have different foods. But the main staple food is ugali. Ugali can be made out of sorghum, millet, maize meal, or it can be a mixture. So ugali is the main food, and it can be consumed with milk, with vegetables, meat, various kinds of vegetables, or we call them escort locally. But ugali is the main dish. So yes. So in terms of religion, we have Christians, we have Muslims, and we have the traditional African beliefs. We also have hello.
Oh, I'm listening. Go on.
Yes, and we also have religions like Baha'is and those the Asian or the Eastern religion, the Baha'i, the Quakers, the Mormons. The New Age movements. They are still creeping and they are coming up.
Okay.
On the general culture, again, I'll say it depends on the region. The coastal part, the coastal part of Kenya, you find that is predominantly Muslim, and their culture tends to borrow much from the Islamic or the Omani culture, because remember, again, it's the Omani Arabs who first of all came to the east coast of Africa, and they are the ones who brought Islam. So even the belief is really inclined towards the Arab, the Omani culture.
Mhm.
Yeah, and when you come to the Rift Valley, to the highlands, to the northern part of Kenya, mostly the Somali, the Borana, their culture is different, because again, these are people who extend across the boundaries. You find that the Borana in Kenya and the Borana in Ethiopia, the culture is the same, the language is the same. So the culture is also depends with the community. For that, that's at least the information background I can give of Kenya. We use the currency we use is a shilling, and the currency is acceptable in countries like Somalia. Still, they don't have their central currency, and is one of in East Africa, our currency, we can say, apart from the Ethiopian birr, is the second strongest currency.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's very, very, very interesting. You have vast cultural and beautiful people. I never knew. In fact, I've learned something today. I never knew that there's a section of a segment of the Kenyan people that are from Oman, or they migrated from Oman. Anyway, I thank you for that. Yeah,
we
thank
have
you for
that.
So, yeah. So, brother, like all of other African countries, Kenya also has to deal with diseases such as malaria and HIV/AIDS and other diseases, common diseases among Africans. So, what is the state of the country's health sector at the moment?
At the moment, we in the year 2010, we promulgated, or we drafted a new constitution for the country. Now, with the new constitution, a lot has changed, because one of the factors that has really changed is the health sector and the education sector. Because now you find that we have what we call the county governments, and these county governments, health is a devolved item. Is not managed by the central government or the national government. Is managed at the county level. So the county will move, or will really manage the health sector at the county level. And we find that we are seeing a total overhaul of the sector slowly by slowly, because now every county wants to have its own, like, a major referral hospital. We've seen things like the availability of drugs, nurses, doctors. At least now, compared with like 5 or 10 years ago, I can say we are doing a little bit better. But there's a lot of effort needs to be put, because the population is growing, and so this has pressure on the sector itself. Currently, we have more than 6. Hello.
Hello, please go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah, we have more than 6 referral hospitals, and more are coming, because we have 47 counties. So each county wants to have its own referral hospital, which will greatly reduce the migration of maybe 6 people from one county to the other. So, and this is an initiative that the governors that have been elected, they are pushing it. They are pushing the agenda for their people, which is a good thing, and is really improving the health sector. And also, one of the things that we also have hospitals like what we call the level 4, the level 5 hospitals, and we have what we call the community health strategy, which we have what we call the community health workers. And each community health worker has at least 20 people who have to report to him according to the community. Yes. So that you find that there are some communicable diseases that can be detected early and stopped at the grassroots level. So the community health workers are really playing a major role in stopping things like, because of the location of the country, you find that countries like Somalia, they don't have, their health sector is completely down. Even Ethiopia, South Sudan, parts of Uganda and Tanzania. So still things like polio, things like, let's say, tuberculosis, still is a major issue in their country. So when these people cross and come to our country, the community health workers are the first line of defense, because when they detect this, these people are quarantined and taken care of to, and they're taken to stop the spread if in case they're impacted or they're affected by this disease. So we have what we call the level 5 and the level 4 hospitals. We also have what we call the location, the dispensaries. Mostly these dispensaries are found in the villages. Some they are run by the missionaries, some are owned by the government, some are individual, like private dispensaries, which really play a key role in stopping that, the suffering of the majority.
Yes.
And on the case of HIV and AIDS, this is a pandemic that hit the country in the 80s and the 90s when people didn't have the information. Now with the information, because of mobile phones, television, and all this communication, now people understand HIV and AIDS properly and the teaching. So the infections, I can tell you, my sister, has come down dramatically. For the AIDS, for HIV and AIDS, it has come down dramatically. But malaria in the Lake region and the coastal part is really is still a major issue, because these people are exposed to a huge water body, so it helps in the breeding of the malaria parasites and whatever. But in the highlands and the Rift Valley, there are areas like in the main city the capital city of Nairobi, because it's a cold place and malaria cannot thrive in a cold place. So these are areas that the malaria cases in the capital city, they're sporadic, unless maybe you come with it. But in these areas, because of the cold weather, the malaria cases are negligible. But in the Lake region, in the northern part, which is hot, and the coastal areas, still is a challenge. It poses a challenge. And now with the revival of this push by the people to move the health sector ahead, it has really done something good.
We thank God for that. We thank God for that. I know that almost all African countries have a major issue with malaria. Like we are so used to the malaria parasite that I think it's not even killing us anymore.
Yeah, we are immune.
Okay, my brother, there's no doubt that the influx of people from rural to urban areas has placed a major burden on the provision of services, such as education and healthcare, sanitation, water, electricity in various parts of our continent. And Kenya is no exception. So what do you think is causing people to migrate to the cities in their numbers? Because I see it's not only an issue with Kenya. I know that is in all parts of Africa. But what do you think is causing that mass migration of people from the rural areas to the urban areas or the cities?
Thank you very much. This is a very interesting question, because now, it's the system that dictates how people are going to live. If the system is working for the people, you'll find that like in the 80s and in the 90s, few Kenyans were migrating, especially from the farming areas. Few were migrating to the cities. But with the breakdown of the farming sector, more people are migrating. That's what we call rural to urban migration, in search of jobs or maybe business or education, because that's where the population is. But in the 80s and the 90s, you find that farming was really paying very well, especially coffee and tea, because remember, these are the sectors that are the backbone of the country. So in the tea, coffee, and pyrethrum producing area, and also this wool for the sheep, the wool, those people, those areas, they never migrated, because if you sell your wool, you don't need to be employed. If you sell your coffee, if you sell your tea, you don't need to be employed. These were the sectors that were really, really keeping the people busy. And these are labor intensive. So you find that in the 80s or in the 90s, it was rural to rural migration. Because somebody will come from maybe the arid areas to the semi-arid, to the highlands area to seek for the jobs in the factory, in the tea factories, in the coffee factories. But with the collapse of the coffee sector, this really impacted on the lifestyle of the people, because now more people are moving into the city. There was a time when I was growing up in the 1988, 86, Nairobi, mostly in Christmas, it was a ghost city. Nobody was in Nairobi because everybody has gone to the rural area. And it's the people in the rural area who had money than the people in the city. So, but now we have what we call rural-urban migration, and even urban to rural migration.
Yes.
So there are people like, for example, you have maybe a piece of land, you see that this job in the city is not paying you well. You embark on farming. Because farming in Kenya, I will tell you, that's why even me, if I come to Ghana, my sister, you'll not find me in Accra. You'll find me in those fertile areas in Ghana, because I know about dairy farming, I know about goat farming, I know about chicken, I know about these, what you call silk farming. This is where you have the silkworms. Yeah, silkworms. And like maybe the land policy in Ghana maybe favors the people more than the land policy in Kenya, because still the major problem is that the majority of the people still have no access to ownership of land, because a lot of land is still owned by the politicians and the British government. That is one of the major problems, yeah. But if the land was in the hand of the people, I tell you, this rural to urban migration will be very minimal, because once you have land in Kenya, you have it all.
Wow, that's amazing. On the contrary, Ghana, the lands in Ghana are owned by the people. Even the government doesn't own land. If the government needs a piece of land, you have to buy from the people. That's
the advantage you have. For us, they don't even buy; they throw you out of your land.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
Yes.
So let's greet some of our viewers, our lovely viewers, and let's greet our lovely viewers, and then read some of our contributions and questions that we received. Okay, welcome, Sister Mercy. Sister Mercy, my very special sister. Hola, Gregory, Beatrice, my darling sister. You are all welcome to Africa in Retrospect. Thanks for joining us today. I'm trying to look for some questions. Oh, Sister Diana, I see you. I see you. How are you, Sister Diana? I believe you are okay. Beatrice is saying that corruption is an African problem, man. African countries will go very far if we are able to deal with corruption from the roots. Don't worry, Beatrice, we'll come to that. The message says you are very right, my sister. And Ola Eko Grigori, he said, I don't understand Africa anymore. There are corruption everywhere, but that of Africa is overwhelming. You are very right. Corruption has become a disease, a dreaded disease, destroying the pulse of a healthy African continent. Ola Gregory again, he says, I'm glad to see smiles on your face now, sis. Ola, be very careful, I'll beat you. He said, Sister Grace, keep the smiles on. Okay, I will. I'll try my best. Thank you, Ola. He said, but I think it's good for the government to own the land, but in Africa, it's not the best because the government will stress citizens over land issues. Thanks for joining us, Brother Kevin. I see you. He said, hi, everyone in the studio. Hi, thank you all very, very, very much. I'm so glad that you've joined us. You could join us today. If you have any question or contribution to what we are discussing, you can add it to the comments box and we'll get back to you. So, my brother, now let's talk about Kenya's rapid population growth and how it's affecting the economy. So, what measures do you think are in place to control the situation? I know you're not in Kenya now, but I believe that as you are a reader and you are so keen on politics and how your country is doing, I'm sure you have an idea about what is happening. So what do you think? What are the measures in place to control population growth? Because I know that in Kenya, I think the number of children you have has a lot to do with your wealth or something. I don't know if it's a myth. So if you can clarify us on that. Are you there?
Yes, I'm still here. You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Now, you know, we are all Africans and we have a lot of similarities. But
Yes.
one thing you should know, children are a blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And now it is like in Kenya is viewed in a different way because, as I said earlier, we are nations. And when there are no children, the people feel threatened that they might be wiped out. Mm-hmm. So, but now with the economic reality, you find that the number has reduced. Like, for example, me, I have 3. My brother has 1. My sister has maybe 2. In another family, you have maybe one child with our generation. So we don't expect again the number to be a population boom. But the rapid growth was brought about by, number one, you know, like majority of Kenyans have relatives in the US, in Canada, and there was a time there was a lot of what do you call this money sent home. So in one way or another, and the third president, in the regime of the third president, the economy was doing very, very well, and people were very comfortable. So those 10 years, there was a rapid population growth because, in fact, the opportunities, the economy was very stable and things were so good. So as Africans and, you know, men, they decided, okay, why don't I add 1 child or 2 children? Eventually, so our population jumped to like 10 million people. There was an increase from around 37 million to around now the 47 million I was talking about. So that was a huge gap. And again, you know, with the religion and the way people believe, they say, okay, the people who have died of AIDS or any other have been replaced. So there was that notion that, you know, we are replacing the ones that are. And I know there's, you know, when the AIDS came in and this pandemic, there's the belief that this is a tool. It was a biological tool of, you know, elimination. So like the way COVID. So, you know, all this interpretation, when they are brought together, people, you know, interpret things in a different way. But in Kenya, just know, out of the 50 million, you're talking of 50,000 Chinese, we have them in Kenya, over 40,000 Europeans, and over 100,000 Indians. So even these people, their population is still counted because they have a significant, they're even represented in parliament because these are people who have been elected to parliament by their own people. So they have a small political muscle compared to the majority. So, and again, because of the strategic position of Kenya and the way now, like if you look clearly, there's a lot of competition in the East African countries. Kenya is doing this, Tanzania is doing this, Uganda is doing this. Now, to touch on something small, there's a country called Rwanda. When the President Kagame came to power through RPF, the country was totally done. It was finished. I mean, it was completely gone after the genocide. That was not even a civil war. That was a genocide.
Yeah, genocide after the genocide. Sorry.
Yeah, and you find that most Rwandans were in Kenya and Tanzania and Uganda. Now you can imagine almost 22, 21 years later, you can see the where Rwanda is. Just because of zero tolerance to corruption. So that begs the question, do we really, is there anything called democracy? Or what do we in Africa, do we really need democracy or we need the right leadership?
We will come there. We will come there. We will come there, brother.
Okay.
Don't worry. Okay, let me greet my sisters. Sister Annalyn, I see you. Thanks for joining us. And Sister Moji, yeah. So please do wait it. All right. Darling sister, thank you. Thanks for joining us, Sister Annalyn and Sister Moji. I'm so happy to see you. So, my brother, before we jump to the issue of corruption and how it's affecting the various African countries, let's talk about the state of infrastructure, education, and employment in Kenya, as it's somehow also connected to corruption. So let's discuss from there and then build it. Okay?
Yes. Thank you again. Infrastructure in Kenya from the year 2002 up to date it has been the main economic, like pushing the economic machine of the country, the heart of the country, because for the last 18 years, the government has really built new roads, railway lines, expanded the seaports. Now we have like 2 seaports, expanded huge ones. And this has attracted a lot of exports and a lot of imports because, Kenya is a gateway to the East Africa. And so other countries rely on the port of Mombasa and now the new port of Lamu that will be serving southern Ethiopia and part of the South Sudan. So when it comes to infrastructure, it has the government has really done a good job. But again, the bottom line here is at what cost? Yes, we can see good roads. We can see the railways coming up, the standard gauge railway. But when you compare what Ethiopia has done, what Tanzania is doing, and the cost, and you compare what is happening in Kenya, then a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions that come up because whatever we used for us to build, let's say, like maybe 400 kilometers of road of railway, that's almost $4.5 billion to build 400 kilometers of railway line. The same Tanzania is using to build almost 900 kilometers.
Yeah.
So when you calculate, and people start questioning, and that's why my sister allow me to to touch this one. When we go for the next, when you go for the next elections in Kenya, it will be, like now when you talk of electing a president, I think Kenyans have learned, and they are going to completely change. In fact, the next president of Kenya is not known. I can tell you for sure. Nobody knows who will be. Even the sitting president is not known because we have an expanded political space. Kenyans can say anything, and this political space did not come easy. We paid a heavy price for it. For the new constitution, for us to have a new constitution, we have paid a very heavy price for it. People have been killed, careers have been destroyed, but still Kenyans kept on focusing. So I know when it comes to 2022 elections, God willing, the situation will be totally different. Yes. So within infrastructure, the roads, we can see the roads, the seaports, even the airports, new airports, we have seen them, and all these ones, we can say the government has done a good job on that one.
Yes.
When we come, yes. Okay.
That's good to know. What about education?
Well, in education, initially we had what we call the 8-4-4 system, which were 8 years in primary school, then 4 years in high school, in secondary school, and 4 years in university. But now the system has changed because we have what we call the curriculum-based education. Like, for example, all of us are not the same. There are those of us who are good in sciences. There are those of us who are good in athletics. There are those of us who are good in practical work like carpentry, masonry, blacksmith. So if you put these people in the same class, they'll perform differently. And you might judge a carpenter, somebody who is is passionate about carpentry, and is not good in masonry. You might think this guy is dumb. But if you allow every child to grow according to his call or her talent or her passion, now from that so this idea has been a debate for long, but now slowly by slowly the government is listening to the majority. Because like me, when I was choosing subjects to study in the university, and even in high school, I told my mother, I'm not good in sciences, but I'm good in in religion, I'm good in history and government, I'm good in languages, I'm good in literature, poetry, all these I was very good in these. In fact, I remember one time when I was in high school, the English teacher will call me to teach English and literature. But when it comes to physics, chemistry, and biology, I'll take the back seat.
Yeah, but sadly, most parents want their children to be what they want them to be, not what the child wants to be, which is quite unfortunate. Yeah. Because not all children are academically good. A child may be good academically, others, another child may be good in the technical aspect. So we should always try to see what our children can do best instead of forcing something on them that they will lose interest and in the end become dropouts. Yeah.
Exactly.
So what about the employment situation?
Well, you know, the leading employer in Kenya is what we call the service industry or the hotel industry, the horticulture. Now we are in the extractive industry, which is mining, because now Kenya is producing titanium and uranium. But this uranium is being hidden because the big powers want to cover it. Mm. We produce titanium, we produce now uranium. There's fluorspar. Now oil, but oil has been stopped because of what is going on, this COVID-19 and what have you. There is oil in the northern part of Kenya, but the leading employer in Kenya is the hotel industry. That is the service industry, the horticulture, and now the government sector jobs, and like the entrepreneurs. You know, like in the markets, you find that Kenyans are very enterprising people. So this is another thing, though, because you know, when you travel like me, the way I've traveled in Kuwait, I'm planning also to travel maybe to Ghana sometimes, or Nigeria, just to travel and see. So with that exposure, when I come back home, I know what to buy from Ghana and come and sell in Kenya. Like your, what do you call them? Your yams and arrowroots. They are very soft. I've eaten one. They are very soft and they are very good.
Yeah, we have different. Yeah, we have different types.
Yeah, and you know, these yams, if I can come to Ghana and get somebody who can supply me with yam flour, this is an area so that I think very few Kenyans know, or unless those people who work with Kenya Airways. But most Kenyans, and I know it has a market, because one time back home in Kenya, I tasted it, and you know, I used to sell, and I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So employment, again, that's what we are saying. Is government sector jobs, horticulture, manufacturing, mining, and all that. And now the common entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Okay, bro. Because of time, we will just try to run through our questions very fast, and then make sure that we don't exceed our time limit.
Yeah.
So, what about the political system in Kenya?
The political system, that is one thing that.
Yeah, because we know that most African countries many restrictions, especially when it comes to press freedom and freedom of speech, religion, and stuff. So I want to know if you can share something about Kenya's political system and the level of press freedom and the human rights situation there.
Okay. So in Kenya, we have two types of our political system is democratic, but we have two types of system. We have the national government and we have the county government. The national government, is the president, the deputy president, the cabinet, the executive. They form part of the national government. Then we have the National Assembly and the Senate. Okay. Now, in the county governments, we have the governor, the deputy governors, the county executive, which is generally a replica of the national government, but at the grassroots level.
Grassroots, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the system where we have two sets of governments, one national and one county. And all these county governments, we have 47 counties. So that means we have 47 governors. Okay. And still in the national government, we have what we call the county command, or initially it was called the provincial administration. So we have what we call the county administration. Now these are people who take orders from the president, because to still put the country together, we have what we call the county commissioners, the district commissioners, the divisional commissioners. Or the former British system, but now it has been tailored to fit the current situation in Kenya. When I go to the press freedom, well, Kenya, we are last time we were ranked like maybe number 96 out of 100. We with 32.44% score. I can say compared to other countries, our media. Hello.
Yeah, I'm listening, bro.
Yeah. Compared to other countries or our neighboring countries, especially when it comes to exposure of corruption, the government has really allowed the media to expose massive corruption. And with the internet penetration, because internet has really gone up to the village level, and the technology, people know and people are aware about corruption and what is going on. Like the recent scandal is about these COVID funds. We were shocked that after an exposure where 43 billion Kenya shillings or $4.3 billion got lost. Yeah, got lost overnight.
I'm laughing because I know what is happening in my own country. That's why I'm laughing. Yes. Because of you.
So it was exposed, and you find that even people in the village know, and they're asking the president, what are you doing about this? They are calling it COVID billionaires, overnight billionaires. Because 4.3 billion in Kenya, it can do a lot. It can build a very huge market. It can build schools. It can build, hospitals. This is money that is needed to uplift and change the life of people. So this is money that just disappeared in the thin air, and it is. And you find that the people who are mentioned by the media, the same media, are people close to the power, mostly. And Africa, our leaders are our major problem.
I was making a joke that if God should ask me to bring my problems before Him, I'll carry our leaders on my head to God and tell God that please.
We conduct mass burial. Just conduct mass burial of these people.
Okay. So we'll take a short commercial break. Please don't go anywhere.
Okay.
Want to win an Apple Watch? It's simple with Almula Exchange. Use the Almula Exchange app or transfer money on the website and enter into a drawing to win an Apple Watch Series 5 daily. Yes, you heard it right. You have a chance to win daily. 61 watches will be given away. Everyone is a winner with Almula Exchange. Download the Almula Exchange app today. The more transactions, the more chances to win.
Welcome back to Africa in Retrospect, lovely people. I will take some more questions and read some comments from our lovely people. Ola Eko Gregory. He's saying, is Kenya a federal state or they practice the unitary system of government? Eko wants to know, is Kenya a federal state or unitary government?
Kenya is a unitary government with devolved units.
Okay.
Because still the president is enjoying the executive power. So all these all these governors, they're just there to at least hasten development. But Hello?
Okay, I'm listening, bro.
I'm saying Kenya is a unitary system with devolved units, although devolution came about by the push by the people to reduce the powers of the president and to increase or to hasten development at the grassroots. And this has contributed, like you see the penetration of electricity, more investment in electricity, more investment in water projects, more investment in the construction of dams, because now people are talking of the problems at the grassroots, and they are being exposed. It's like you open an arse and start pressing the pass, and there's the shouting, the people, when this is what is going on.
Yes. Thank you. And Ola is again saying that you are very right, Mr. Erastus. So we learn sharp in school. When we don't perform, our parents think we are dull. but maybe it's not the field of the child. Yeah, you're very right, my brother. You also said that they fail to read through to know the strong field of their children. And I want to be a teacher, but my dad refused. My dad, sorry, sorry, because of my glasses, the words.
No, I can see the message.
Oh, okay. I think it's displayed there. Okay. He said that I wanted to be a teacher, but my dad refused and insisted I go to the university. I didn't like what I read there, but to please my dad, I had to do it. And it has taken me nowhere. That is very unfortunate. As my brother mentioned earlier, we should allow our children to select the subjects of their choice or their career in future. Sister Mercy said, corruption is actually everywhere in Africa. May God deliver us from the hands of these evil people. Amen. Brother, my sister says corruption is everywhere in Africa. What do you have to say?
Who elects these corrupt people?
Sometimes.
No, not sometimes. You see,
they read the vote sometimes.
My sister, what has happened in Mali should be an eye opener to the rest of Africa. Because if they were able to plan and conduct a bloodless coup, that means the army was tired of the president, the people were tired, and they decided to take the opportunity and change the country for good. And it's only that I don't understand French, because at one time the coup plotters or the leaders, they've not even killed their president. They are very smart, these people. They've kept him in. They took captive of him and his ministers, and now they are getting the vital information they need. That's why the French cannot do anything now, and they're telling the French, leave our country. And one funny thing, I was so shocked. I never knew Mali had gold, and it was shown where. I never knew.
But the richest man who ever lived was from Mali, Mansa Musa.
Mansa Musa, I know, but so they are showing where all this gold is kept in France.
Yes.
And whatever is left in Mali are the deposit, the holes, the ground that has been whatever the mines. But the real gold is in France.
The land is totally destroyed. You see this illegal mining in my country. They call it Gate. Yeah.
Okay.
They've mined illegally and sold to smugglers. So many smuggling activities happening there. And in the end, you know where it goes. It goes to France.
France or US or UK. So whatever has happened in Mali should happen in any other African countries where leadership is not serious about the people. And one thing I want to commend the people of Mali is that they should take care of the northern, the Tuareg rebels, because France might go around, start funding the Tuareg rebels to start fighting now the Malian people. Yes. They should make peace with those people, and we want to see Mali changing like Rwanda, changing like Botswana, like Namibia. These SADC countries, especially Botswana, Namibia, those countries are very stable. But again, still, they are watching what is happening in South Africa. Still, they are not able to. It's only Namibia that they don't have access to their land, because still the Germans are there. And the Germans, whatever they did in Namibia, they nearly decimated, killed all the people, the Herero and the Nimba people in Namibia. So still, that is a topic for another day.
That's another topic, yeah. We're not to say everything today. Let's keep it fun. So let's go to the last question. Asked about his stance on gay rights. Your President Uhuru Kenyatta made it clear that the nation will not accept. He was very emphatic about it. Practices that are at conflict with Kenyan culture. And I even watched the interview with Christian Amanpo on CNN. So you think rights should be of utmost importance when Africans have more pressing issues to contend with in the provision of basic services like human needs such as food, shelter, education, healthcare, and infrastructure. development, do you think gay rights should be of utmost importance now?
Let me be very, let me just be very, very categorical. In England, they use what they call the common law. Yes. Common law is law that has been brought or has been borrowed from the tradition of the people. The same like India. They don't have a real constitution. They took the traditions, went through them, then they came up with the Indian common law. Now, in Africa, I think common law sometimes should be put inside the constitution, because this thing is ungodly. Even if we didn't have Christianity or Islam, even just according to our culture, is a taboo. Is something that is not known. It was not known.
Let's set aside Islam and Christianity. Our culture
it is not known.
Yes.
It was not known. Even prostitution in the African culture, it was not there.
A disgrace, big disgrace.
Yes. So you can imagine.
It has never been practiced openly.
Yeah, so, you can imagine now prostitution has been normalized, and now they want even to normalize things that is a blasphemy. Even the religion they brought us is blasphemous even to that religion.
Yes.
I do not see anything good. Let me put it. I don't want to talk about somebody else. Let's say take me and maybe your husband. What good do I see in your husband?
Yes.
I mean, let us put it. I check the seriousness of this thing. I mean, it is so disgraceful. I cannot even go. I even don't want to deal. It's because I know it's going on in places I don't want to mention, but it's something hurting, especially if young people go into it. Because one thing you should know, during slavery, this is what was happening in the sugar plantations.
Yes.
They will take one strong. They will take one strong man. They will force him to sleep with any female, whether it's your mother, your sister, your daughter, and most of after you've done that, the next day, this slave owner will come and in front of all these people do that thing in front of to demoralize you in front of your family. And that's why in countries like Jamaica and the Caribbean, this thing, because they know the root and they understand it, is you can never hear it. Even in fact, they can kill you silently. So let us understand the source of these things, such things. Who is behind that? Who is pushing that? Remember, I was watching one interview. This production of condoms. Do you know these white countries? They put a lot of money, 40 to 50 billion, to manufacture condom for Africa, because they feel that in the next 20 years, out of every 10 people in the world, 8 people will be black people. Yes. They know there's power in numbers. Yes. So they have to make sure that the number of the black race is kept down, because once the number goes up, they cannot control it. So they have to use their family planning. They have to do the organ, the organ trading business, where they were going to West Africa, the Niger. They take children, they go and do whatever they wanted to do with the children. You can see what was happening in smuggling of people after the fall of Gaddafi. You can see how many people died in the Mediterranean. Yes. They've tried with civil war, they've tried with AIDS, with diseases like malaria. They have not achieved that. Now they have gone even they wanted to try with COVID, but now it's as if God is answering our prayers. Now it is hitting back on them. So we should, as Christians and people of faith, we should understand what we call the New World Order. So to me, all these things that are ungodly is part of the New World Order.
Part of it. So if we Africans, we are smart, we will sit down and ask why.
Yes. Why do they push?
Why we have so many pressing issues like lack of electricity. Our children don't have enough food. the bad roads, hospitals. There are so many things, basic things that we need, that these people are not helping us to fulfill what we need, but rather they want to impose on us. They want to impose something, a culture that is alien to us.
My sister, let me ask you. Let me ask a question.
Okay.
If for example, my father oppressed your father, right? And
Yes.
my father used to tell me that your family is not good. So if, for example, I become in his position and I'm able to oppress you, do you expect anything good from me?
Oh, I don't expect anything good from you.
Thank you. Now, these people have a history of killing.
Yeah, you should remember.
They have a history. They have a history of enslaving, killing, maiming, and stealing from us.
Yes.
It's in their DNA. So do we expect anything good from them? Right? Now, remember when they came to Africa, they found us doing things practically, not theoretically. So they come up with schools where they'll teach theory but not practical. You understand me? Because our own native doctors were doing things practically. When you come from the lineage of the native doctors or the herbalists, you know the herbs because every day you are dealing with the herbs. If you come from the family of the blacksmith, you know how to melt the iron because every day you're waking up to do that job. You understand me? If you come from the family of warriors, every day you're training
to be a warrior, like me.
To be a warrior. So you are doing it every day, all your life. So there's nothing else you know just about war and to defend the community.
Yes.
You understand me? So that's how the African political organization was. If you come from the family of farming like me, my family was a farming family. And I started going to the farm when I was a small boy with my grandfather, with my grandmother, and my other uncles. So that knowledge has been passed to me, and I will pass to my children. Although now with this modern thing, I suspect it might end up with me. So that thing you are saying about gay, it should not be a topic in Africa completely. We should just completely do away with it.
It shouldn't
completely.
Be.
Because like you are a mother and you have a son. You're expecting that one day your son will bring a wife.
Yes.
He will tell you, Mom, I've seen a good girl, maybe whether from Kenya or as long as she's a woman, it doesn't matter the color.
God forbid that you go the other way. God forbid.
No, it will never happen.
So, my brother, how would you advise someone who wants to invest in your beautiful country, Kenya, in terms of the right sector to invest? It's so frustrating when you want to invest in a country and then you don't know how to go about it. So if you can...
Number one, I'm the best person to advise you to invest in Kenya, and I know which sector you can invest. Very simple. Number one, let's say at our own level, I'll advise you to get your own house. That one, I can assist you to get your own house. That's number one. Number two, what are you good at? What do you do? What do you like doing? Let's say, for example, you're a chef. How many? We have Chinese restaurant in Kenya, we have Japanese restaurant, but we don't have Accra restaurant in Kenya. We don't have Ghanaian restaurant in Kenya. So I'll tell you, don't even bother going to the main street or to the main city. Put up your restaurant here, cook Ghanaian food. Let people know this Ghanaian food. Slowly by slowly, you start penetrating the minds of Kenyans, especially their traditional foods. They start appreciating it. By the time you realize you have a huge restaurant. Because one thing I'll tell you, and I've realized that we in the East Africa, especially Kenya, we've lost our traditional diet. We've really lost it on it. We don't have it. So this is an area that you people can come slowly and cover it. And take it slowly and make sure that these people continue eating the traditional foods, even if they're not their own, but it's still the African traditional food. Another area is like fashion. You see, like you people still appreciate your fashion.
Mm.
Another thing, if you can access things like gold in your country, you can manufacture gold chains. Come on, who tells you it's a crime for a Ghanaian to set up a gold shop in Kenya? Gold, sell gold chains, gold rings, and what have you. You can do it. You have the gold. Yeah. So in Kenya, and again, when people know you in Kenya, we have Tanzanians coming in Kenya, we have Rwandans, we have Ugandans, we have Europeans, especially on the gold business. If you can be able to access gold in your country and move it to Kenya, my dear, you'll forget about employment.
Wow. Then I'll think about that, brother. Time, unfortunately, time is fast spent. I know you have a lot to say today, but I think we'll continue another time. I'll just read some of the points we have and then take another commercial break and then come and sign out. Ola Gregory said, Ivory Coast is planning same to what is happening in Mali. God help Africa. I think Ivory Coast is also cool. Yeah.
A coup is never announced. It just happens.
Just imagine.
It's never announced.
School. Ola, he said again that they come to deceive us with their big grammar during their manifesto readings, and their propaganda against the to-do government, thereby throwing dust in the eyes of the masses. I know, my brother.
I like that, throwing dust. You said that dust with pepper.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, brother. If you have any special greetings to friends and loved ones, you can go ahead. You have 30 seconds.
No, me, I just want to thank the viewers and those who have sent their comments. I love them. They are good people. At least they give us the morale to go on. I love them all, and I want to pass them all my best wishes and tell them to keep safe, and hope we can meet in church when it will be opened.
I will meet in church very soon.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us again. As always, we had an amazing time with you. And my lovely people, so sorry about the technical hitch we experienced at the beginning of the show. I know that you always bear with us, and we appreciate. Once again, the name is Full Time Buzz Media. Don't forget, please, to support us by liking and sharing our videos. You can follow us on here on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Instagram. And continue to be a blessing to us. Thank you so much. Have a blessed evening.
Want to win an Apple Watch? It's simple with Al-Mullah Exchange. Use the Al-Mullah Exchange app or transfer money on the website and enter into a drawing to win an Apple Watch Series 5 daily. Yes, you heard it right. You have a chance to win daily. 61 watches will be given away. Everyone is a winner with Al-Mullah Exchange. Download the Al-Mullah Exchange app today. The more transactions, the more chances to win.
Among the delegates, Tom Mboya, the 28-year-old trade union leader from Kenya, son of an illiterate fisherman, graduate of Ruskin College, Oxford, and chairman of the conference. Mr. Kojo Botsio, Ghanaian Minister of External Affairs. Dr. Cartwright, an observer from America. And the German ambassador. In Black Africa, the Germans are not regarded as imperialists. And last of all, the hero of the nation, the man whose birthday is a public holiday and whose face appears on the country's stamps and coins, Kwame Nkrumah, Prime Minister of Ghana. The rash of slogans everywhere had put the delegates in a receptive mood for the fighting speech which Mr. Nkrumah had prepared. There were cries of freedom as he entered the hall.
We want, therefore, to develop our own community and an African personality. Others may feel that they have evolved the very best way of life, but we are not bound, like slavish imitators, to accept it as our mode. If we find the methods used by others are suitable to our social environment, we shall adopt or adapt them. If we find them unsuitable, we shall reject them. Fighters for African freedoms, I appeal to you in the sacred name of Mother Africa to leave this conference resolved to rededicate yourselves to the task of forming among the political parties in your respective countries a broad united front based upon one common fundamental aim and object, the speedy liberation of your territories. Don't let us also forget that colonialism and imperialism may come to us yet in a different guise, not necessarily from Europe. We must alert ourselves to be able to recognize this when it rears its head and prepare ourselves to fight against it. This mid-20th century is Africa's. This decade is the decade of African independence. Forward then to independence now. Tomorrow, the United States of Africa.
Already, Dr. Nkrumah has taken the first step towards his ambition. Ghana and the former French colony of Guinea
we cry for peace. Africa, 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 yeah. Mama Africa, we cry for peace. Africa.